Yo, what's going on, yo? Welcome in. Brand new episode of Snaps live on a Monday here. Let's just start this with a little true circle, y'all. If my voice sounds a little messed up, it's because it is. Badge party part 2 with little brother this weekend. It was fantastic. It was very fun, like the best time. It was bunch of kids that, he was all boys within high school and college. So guys I've known for years as well. It was one of the purest bachelor parties I've ever been involved in that it was just the boys competing the entire time and gambling the entire time. So I'm talking multiple FIFA tournaments, betting on the fight Saturday night, betting on the big bocce ball tournament that we played for 6 hours straight on Saturday. This board game Pirateer that we're obsessed with, ton of bets on that. We're talking side action on the FIFA tour. It was so much fun, but what it also was just pure beer and liquor being consumed till 6 a.m. each day. And your boy had to come back, obviously, to a wife that was sick of being a solo parent for 3 days, meaning, no excuses, get your ass in gear. And I'm not going to lie, the time is recording. It's Monday at noon.
Are you drunk still?
I'm not drunk still, but everything is coming crashing down. I feel like I'm fucking fighting for my life trying to talk into this mic right now. I just did a full morning show. My voice is shit. My energy's down, but I feel good because I got my guy Aaron Murray back with me. Aaron, what's up, man?
Disney was absolutely phenomenal. I feel great, actually surprised with how rested I felt after the trip. I thought I was gonna be exhausted. I thought I was gonna be pissed off at Maddox, tired, not sleeping. Dude, we all went to bed every night between 8 and 9 o'clock. Miles, Maddox, Sharon, myself, 8 o'clock knocked out, didn't wake up to set. We had about 11 hours of sleep a night. Like I drove back, I was like, damn, I feel good. Like, I'm ready to go. So it was a great trip. The kids were great. Miles gets an A+, Maddox like a B, solid B.
Yeah, wait, why B? Why can't my guy get into the A category? No. You texted B- to the group. So you're actually publicly juicing him up here a little bit.
I am juicing up because I talked to my mom.
Why B-?
Because I talked to my mom about this. He's a 3.5-year-old boy. He's gonna be a little shithead.
100%.
You have to put that, you have to weigh that into the grading system. Little shithead 3-year-old, they're all like that, especially the boys. I probably was back in the day too. So like I weighed that into it. So probably like an A-, B+, honestly, if you put that into the grading.
Yeah. So okay, so I want to get into your Disney highlights. What was the best part of the trip?
Just the rides, like seeing how excited they were going on the rides, like the smiles, the giggles. They loved every part of it. So they were really happy meeting the princes and princesses and the characters. I mean, it was we're going to be a yearly trip now.
See, you felt it, the presence. You're in the moment. You're in the moment with the family in a way that you never are otherwise. And all traveling is like this for sure. It's just that at Disney, you don't really have to worry about shit. Like, I know my kids aren't going to get kidnapped or run away because every inch of that park is like covered and facially recognized. It's just like, whatever, you just kind of chill. But we do have to talk about some controversy. I told Aaron to chug an Epcot beer and send it to the group. It was one fucking beer, y'all. I said, just chug one beer and send it to the group. And I knew you couldn't, and I knew you could not do it all in one chug, but that's fine. All we wanted to see was the effort. We wanted to see you try. You know what this pretty boy does? He sends us a picture of him sipping on a beer, a picture, and then refuses to even attempt to chug the beer and refuses to send it to the group. Like, why? Just try.
I don't want to chug. I don't want to wait. I'm not one like yourself who's going to go to Epcot and have 10 beers. I'm probably going to have, which I had was 2, maybe 3 beers. That's it. That's all I'm going to have. I'm going to have 2 or 3, just enough to kind of relax a little bit. I'm not going to waste one of those few beers trying to chug it, then it coming out of my nose, then me spitting it out everywhere, it being ruined, and then just saying, there goes one of my fucking beers to shit now.
Oh my God. No, but it doesn't have to be that binary. All you gotta do is drink another beer.
No.
All you have to do is drink another beer on top.
Because we're in a different country by then, so then I miss the opportunity to enjoy my beer in Germany.
It probably was a mid culture, Patrick. I agree. Look, I'm just yeah, thank you, Locke. If you're gonna make T-Bob look stupid for months, you can take 15 seconds to chug a beer. Thank you, Locke.
When do I make T-Bob
when we get to 15K, which 14.8 was so close. We get to 15K, you have to try to chug a beer on air. Deal?
Okay.
On the show. Okay, perfect. Deal. There we go.
Deal. And I actually will do the deal.
What was your favorite ride? And then we'll move on.
My favorite ride, because we were on mostly like kiddie rides. I like Ratatouille and I like Frozen. I thought Frozen was well done. I thought Ratatouille was well done. Yeah, Frozen was fun.
Did you like did you get to do Guardians or any of the big boys? Not yet. Yeah.
He ain't ready for that yet.
One day.
We went on was it Thunder Mountain?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the noises got to him at first. You go through the cave and it's rattling, so he started freaking out with the noises. And then we started going, and his face was just pure fear of like, because Maddox is big. Like Maddox is probably, obviously he's like 99 percentile, so he's a tall son of a bitch. So he can ride the rides because of his height, but I don't know maturity wise that he was necessarily ready for that heat just yet. So that kind of freaked him out a little bit, which was kind of funny, but sad all at once.
Bro, I love roller coasters now, but you would not have found a softer individual growing up when it came to roller coasters. We had a rule in my house by 10 years old, you had to ride everything, but I managed to push off till I think like 11. But it's just so embarrassing to kind of think about looking back, but I was 11 years old and my dad was forcing me on the Batman ride at Six Flags, which is an awesome roller coaster if you've never ridden it. And at 11 years old, I was actively crying in the line and asking him, I was like nervous about falling out, like be like, you got to hold me in here, blah, blah. But it's the wildest experience I've ever had in my life and how visceral it was. So I'm crying like a little bitch. I'm freaking out the entire time. And the second we hit the first drop, I started laughing maniacally, and since that moment, I have loved roller coasters.
Love it.
Not liked roller coasters, but loved roller coasters. Like ended up immediately riding a million more times. Like I don't know what sort of deep-seated fear I had in me at 11 years old, that's just entirely too old to be crying very publicly in line. But I'll never forget the feeling I had when I hit that first drop, and everything in all that fear transmuted to just like pure joy, and it was fucking awesome. So
I love it.
Yeah. Even though I feel you, like my oldest obsessed with everything. She's already ridden every hardcore ride that there is. My youngest,
I think that'll be him next year. Yeah, I think next year. I mean, he wanted to, like, midway through he started to enjoy that one. I think he wanted to do everything. Obviously, he's 43 inches, so there was like that next, I think the next tier is like 48 inches, so like maybe by next year, the year after that, he'll be rolling with the big boys. But no, it was great. What I want to know from the chat, I think a couple people said it, how many times did T go off the rails on some wild ass tangent last week during the shows?
I don't think there was anything too crazy. One of my favorite episodes we've ever done was probably the Spencer Hall sit down last Thursday, and that wasn't as much off the rails as much as it was a very wide ranging conversation that involved a lot of shit. We got into the Iditarod dog races, which are going on last week. I need to look up who won actually. We talked like a lot of Warhammer and stuff. So, but no, I don't think there was anything too insane. I'm not entirely sure though, because you know how it is doing this job. You just keep fucking talking and you can't like remember what you said. I did go on Next Round Live today, and they were talking like they were like, we were saying if we wanted a Truman Show, if we wanted to make the Truman Show on somebody, we wanted to see you between when Nick Saban was fired and Kalen DeBoer was hired. And I did talk to them about how like, okay, that's fine, but you have to be okay with copious amounts of masturbation if you're going to Truman Show me, because that's just, it's like if you're going to keep a camera on me 24/7, unfortunately, you're going to see some things that you may not want to, right? So if you're about that life, all I'm saying is come correct. All right, let's do. Yeah, exactly. It was just really more nerdy than anything else, I would say.
How much sex talk?
A lot of Four Loko talk in the chat. Did you? Were you
that
a
ain't
Four
happened
Loko fan back in the day?
No, God, no.
We used to get down as a Four Loko. Tasted like drinking gasoline and cherry cough medicine. Just really awful stuff.
Do I get by the way, do I get to pick the beer or are you picking it?
For you to chug?
Yeah.
I mean, I think I should get to pick it since you're being such an unreal little bitch. You're being the equivalent of 11-year-old me crying about getting on the roller coaster right now. Okay. So yes, I will choose the beer, and I'm going to make you choose a heavy one just to really embarrass you. Yeah, big stout.
No.
Take it down, and I'll do it at the same time so I can show you. All right. Okay, so things we're going to get to today. On to the show. I probably went too long. That's my bad. We have ex-Mississippi State head coach Zack Arnett joining Ole Miss as an analyst. We have automatic bids potentially being nixed in this 14-team playoff. We have Steve Sarkisian getting some absolutely absurd buyout numbers, and we have Lane Kiffin saying he would be in NCAA football for free. Shotgunning for Loko, says Aaron Clint Moses. I think that's something that I don't even think I ever did was shotgun for Loko. All right. So Zack Arnett fired as the Mississippi State head coach. Where does he land? Well, you look at that. He joins Ole Miss as an analyst. I would like to make an official proposition to the chat here and to the college football world. If we could start calling him Zakuk Arnett, I think that may be a little more apropos, as he has now joined the program that for the last few years he purported to hate and fuck these guys and put everything into beating these guys. And now you became Lane Kiffin's Butch Jones. Like, I hope Lane Kiffin makes Zack Arnett wash his boat. I hope he makes him clean his fish after he catches him. I hope he makes him pick up his dry cleaning, because that's what Zack Arnett deserves for making such a bitch move. Now, from from Kiffin's standpoint, very Saban-esque move, right?
Yes.
You had a talented defensive mind who also has insight into how your main rival operates. Now, you don't hire him because he was a Mississippi State head coach. That's not the main reason. The main reason is the football acumen, but that is a piece in the pie as to why you bring him in. So Lane Kiffin continues to show that he learned from the master himself, now building out his shadow staff in similar ways.
Well, we talk about loyalty, and obviously the NFL is very unique because guys move around all the time. And we worry about the influence of the NFL coming to college football. And we've talked before about as well the players. Do players have any loyalty to their university? Like, do they truly care and love LSU or Georgia or Bama or Ohio State or Michigan? Or is it just, hey, I'm here to get a paycheck, I'm here to play. If one of those two criteria are not met, then I don't care if I transfer to my rival school. Like, the amount of guys that I've personally seen transferred to their rival school. Hell, Georgia's going to have one of their top running backs, Etienne, played at Florida last year.
Yeah.
How weird is that? Like, your biggest rival, you're going to go transfer to them because you want to go win a championship. The defensive coordinator for Southern Cal, Lynn, was just at UCLA. Leaves UCLA in the same city, leaves to go to USC. There is no more loyalty in college football. There isn't. I don't think they're from a coach. It's dwindled with these guys moving around. From a player standpoint, with all the new opportunities with NIL on the transfer portal, it's the NFL. It's just, hey, I'm here to get paid. I'm here to try to win a championship, and I'm just here to get to the NFL. Well, and it's kind of sad. It's a little bit sad. It's a little bit that you don't have that loyalty factor tied into the university, that come hell or high water, I ain't going there, because it is in my DNA to say fuck you to that university, because it's in my blood, because I went to the rival school before that.
I want to be clear about this too. Don't think I am taking shots saying that I wouldn't do the same thing. Because I have said plenty of times on multiple shows, whatever, through the years, that like, if you pay me, I'll do anything. If you were to double my salary right now, I would go do Alabama radio. Yeah, I would just completely cuck myself, betray everything I've ever believed in, and you would catch me in houndstooth, saying, wow, I think the Tide are going to win this year, right? So like, I get it. But if I did that, it would be a bitch move. Okay. Yeah. And so I can understand why someone makes a bitch move, but also call it a bitch move. And that's exactly what Zack Arnett did, joining up again with the squad. Like every player he recruited, every game everything for years was about, fuck those guys. We're better than them. We can be better than them. And then what happens when you get fired? Because you did an awful job. And let's be clear about that as well. Zach Arnett, now he was thrust in a situation he probably never should have been, right? So I feel for him, but his strategy of taking what was one of the more effective offenses in all of college football when it comes to punching up and maximizing whatever relative talent you have, his strategy of taking that and tearing it down to on a molecular level. I mean, it was a masterclass in questionable decision-making and just complete and utter mismanagement. What he did to Will Rogers in that offense is borderline criminal. So then he basically shit on the carpet, rubbed his feces all over the wall, and then went and blamed everybody else for it and left and went to his arch.
I don't think he blamed anyone. Did he blame? I don't think he blamed anyone. I just think it was a very tough decision because at some point, unless you wanted to say, this is the offense that I'm going to commit to for the next 5 years, which as a defensive guy, I don't think that's really in their DNA to commit to that type of offense. At some point, you're going to have to rip the Band-Aid off. And I think for him, there was maybe a sense of like, I'm going to get multiple years to at least demonstrate to the athletic director and to the powers that be that I can be a head coach here at Mississippi State. So I'm going to rip the Band-Aid off this year. Yeah, it may suck, and I'm going to have to recruit my ass off and go to the transfer portal and rebuild it to the type of offense I want, but at least I know my identity on that side of the football. And unfortunately for him, it went so bad that you didn't even get to the end of the season to be the head coach. So like, I don't know. I'm untorn. Like, was it the right decision in hindsight? Like, no, it wasn't. Like, you probably, for the sake of your career, knowing that you only had 1 year to make a statement, you probably shouldn't have done it. But if there was a feeling that I'm going to get 2 or 3 years to try and build this team the way I want to build it, then yeah, that Band-Aid had to be ripped off at some point.
It was you. Okay. So I get what you're saying. And so maybe my next take is more opinion based, right? Because it certainly, I can't just say this would for sure happen. I just don't know how you know as much football as Zach Arnett does. You've been paid millions of dollars in your life to coach football. And you look at Mississippi State and you look at the resources you have therein, and you're telling me I'm going to run a traditional pro style attack and just out talent people. No. I think again, if he really believed that, and that actually tells me
he wasn't the right guy.
Yes, exactly.
He wasn't the right guy.
That tells me everything that I need to know about how woefully unprepared he was to actually take that job.
And that's on Mississippi State. They should have known. And if you look at the past decade of when Mississippi State was most successful, it was guys that did think outside the box offensively. Dan Mullen and what he was able to do when he came over from Florida, Mike Leach when he came from Washington State. That's what you have to run. It's like, less shame on him. He was put into a position that he should not have been put into as a defensive coach. That does. It's hard for me. Like if you poll most defensive coordinators and ask them, like, if in your perfect vision, if I'm giving you the head coaching job of any university, what do you want your football team to look like identity-wise on both sides of the football? I doubt many would say, oh, I want to run an air raid offense. I don't want to run that. They don't. That is not complementary football that a DC wants to run. So shame on Mississippi State for putting it into the hands of a defensive guy when they've known, and that's why they made the hire they just hired, that we need a guy that runs the ship that has an offensive mentality.
I think no, I don't think shame on Mississippi State at all. I think that there was if you look at the bowl game that they won after Mike Leach tragically passed, it was a defensive battle in which the defense showed up and got it done. The defense was doing very well. It is all shame on Zach Arnett for not keeping up with the times and not clearly reading the writing on the walls.
Do you not believe that when there's a discussion with the university and Zach Arnett, and they said, if you're going to get this job, what's your first step? What are you going to do? That he just lied to him and said, I'm going to keep the air raid? No, he probably said, like, no, my plan is to do this, this, and this. They had to sign off on that. They knew his vision before they made him the head coach.
I doubt his vision was as pro style as it ended up being. I bet you, I cannot fathom that he didn't say that, no, we're going to continue to run the spread. It may look a little differently. We're bringing in Kevin Barbay from App State, Kevin Barbay ran a very dynamic offense. It looked like Zach Arnett handcuffed him completely and wholly when he got to Mississippi State.
You had a quarterback that was injured for the majority of the season, who I think is vastly overrated in the first place. Will Rogers was out the majority of the year.
When Will Rogers wasn't hurt, he looked like somebody who had never played football before. It is actually impressive, but he was really good though. I don't care if you think he was actually good from an NFL standpoint. I don't care if he's a system guy. Objectively, the numbers were fucking good. And he was scoring points and he was winning games. Arnett dismantled it to a genetic level. Again, it was a masterclass in how to blow up what was a pretty good thing that they had going on. So no, forgive me. I mean, I'm not even a Mississippi State fan. If I was a Mississippi State fan, the amount of fuck you that I would feel for this guy would be unending. We were rolling. We were 9-4, third in the SEC West, and just beaten Ole Miss in the Egg Bowl to finish off their epic collapse. Life was good. We get hit with tragedy, and you make it even worse. You ruin it all. In 1 year, you ruin it all. Now Ole Miss is up. Mississippi State's never been more down. Maybe Levy's the guy. If nothing else, at least he'll give you exciting offense. But after all of that, he goes and joins Kiffin's staff? Nah. Zakuk, Arnett. I'm not about it, dude. I know, and I can get it. And to be clear, I would also make a bitch move if the money is right. Okay. So I am not saying I'm above it.
He's an analyst.
I am not saying I'm above it, but fuck him. Let's speaking of Ole Miss though, the offseason continues to be hot for them. Of course, they dominated the transfer portal. Now, Lane Kiffin out there talking about how, look, man, why aren't coaches in the NCAA football game? He was like, I would just let them do it. I do it for free. The kids like to play it. When they're picking the team, you want the recruits to play with the coach. My brain thinks, what would help in recruiting? If you pay me for that, I wouldn't want it. I'd want to put that into our NIL. And so again, it's kind of funny. You have the polar opposite of Zakuk Arnett, where this is a guy who has been consistently ahead of the curve when it comes to modern college football, both in terms of offensive theory. When you look at how he completely reworked Alabama and the years of success that he set them up for, when you look at what he's done at Ole Miss offensively, but also off the field, when you look at how he's built out this Mississippi State booster and donor program, the amount of money he's been able to raise, how all in he went on the transfer portal, even the success that he had at FAU, where he's sitting there making stupid meme owl up videos that he's being stupid and meme on purpose because he knows they're going to go viral. And all of a sudden we're sitting in the offseason talking about FAU. Like Lane Kiffin is, I think, a top 5 coach likely in all of college football, especially if we're not just talking like on-field results, but kind of the total package. I think he has proven to be very forward-thinking.
Yes.
And so it begs the question, Aaron, does Ole Miss make the college football playoff this year?
Well, first to the point of the coaches being in the game and him saying he'll do it for free, like you're making, what, $7 to $11 million for most of these coaches across college football, especially the big programs. Like, do you really need another paycheck for $10,000 to be on a game? So like, whatever, like, yeah, send it to NIL. Let's send it to our collective or whoever runs the ship to be able to pay players. So, I mean, but still someone had to say it. And it just seems like Lane Kiffin's always the first, or a lot of the times, one of the most vocal guys when it comes to certain things that get players excited, that get parents excited, that gets kids in the transfer portal excited. So I'm with you. I think he checks off most of the boxes when it comes to what you look for a head coach in today's game. So good by him by continuing to be in the headlines, which is kind of what you have to do. Is Ole Miss a playoff team? I think you and I have said it for weeks, T. Like, yeah, I would be very disappointed between returning talent, especially at the quarterback position, third-year starting quarterback, who I think is extremely talented, incredible playmakers on the outside. You hit the defense, you hit the portal extremely hard on the defense side of the ball. Second year with that DC, you bring in an analyst to help on that side of the football, and you have one of the easiest schedules in the SEC on top of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would be not, I
yeah,
can't say pissed off, but like I would be surprised.
No,
if
they
Ole
should
Miss
be
isn't it.
pissed. No. Well, if you're an Ole Miss fan, you should be pissed.
You should be.
We talk about it all the time. What decides the temperature of fan base is what, guys? It's not the results themselves. It's where the results land in relation to the expectations. So let's set some clear expectations for Ole Miss. It should be playoff. Look at how you finished last year. Look at return. Look what you added. It should be playoff. And if they miss out, you should be upset. And I think they will make it, right? I'm actually a believer. The one thing that I would leave the door open for maybe they won't is
injury, as always.
Well, yeah. Sorry, of course. No.
In today's game, I think the biggest thing in today's world, and we saw it last year with Georgia, we've seen it with Alabama. Everyone has a depth issue because of the portal.
Well,
like,
I mean,
so like,
also,
I think at the end of the day, like if you hit the injury bug, you don't have the same kind of depth, especially a place like Ole Miss that naturally doesn't have the same kind of depth as a Georgia or Alabama. Jackson Dart gets hurt, a couple receivers go down, offense kind of goes to shit. Then you kind of sit back and say, okay, I get it. But if you stay relatively healthy, then yeah, there is a massive expectation you should be one of the three teams in the SEC into the playoffs.
So yes, all you could almost just put that, though. Understand, if you listen to Snaps often, that is just one of those core truths. If you get hurt to hell, anything can go awry.
Yeah.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the body of work that we have at Ole Miss. And I won't count year one, but it's that incredible year two where they win 10 games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Something they've never done before in school history, right? Was it 10 regular season games? I think. Yeah.
I think so.
Then, or maybe it was with the bowl. It doesn't matter. Something you never done in school history before. Then you have the complete and utter fall off where you start 7-0 and you finish like 8-5. I think it is. Just everything falls apart. Then the next season, you bounce back and you have an even better year. 11 wins for the first time in school history. So again, I think Ole Miss will get it done, but this year is critical to proving that fall off year was an aberration.
Yeah.
That was the exception rather than the rule. Now, granted, they had like quarterback turnover going from Matt Corral to Jackson Dart year one there. Like there's a lot of reasons you can point to as to why it happened. You probably weren't as good defensively nearly as you are now. So again, I'm betting on Lane Kiffin and company, but when you have such a mercenary team, every single year there is the potential for the pieces not to come together. Yeah. Right. And I think he's very good at putting them together and he's proving that, but every year there is that risk that for whatever reason it doesn't click or the guys don't buy in, or maybe it even gets completely toxic. So again, I'm not thinking that's going to happen to Ole Miss, but it is something that you have to keep in mind about what could happen.
No, 100%. But I think there's a couple things that go into that. One, he's done it year after year. Like that's how he's built the roster. So he himself is getting more comfortable with learning how to structure the offseason, how to build a culture of understanding that maybe like I have my mindset as a coach that like I want to build this incredible culture and it's going to take 3 or 4 years to do it because I'm going to get a kid as a freshman. And by the time he's a senior, man, that guy is sipping the Kool-Aid like no other. He's teaching the freshman. I talked to Brian Kelly about this. You know, he's like the biggest set from year one to year two is I have guys that now know how I want my program to run that they can teach the newcomers. And then year three, those guys, like it's a whole process. Well, now Lane has understood that like this big book that I have of how to build the culture, it needs to be cut in half or it needs to be cut even further than that because I only have X amount of times with these guys based on how I'm building a culture. So he's learned how to do that. And I think he's done an incredible job. One of the few that actually has mastered how to build a roster through the portal year in and year out. And then two, I think these players understand in today's game, the culture and the environment that they live in because of the portal. It's not new to them anymore. It was new to them 2 years ago. It was new to them 3 years ago. Now all of a sudden these guys understand that, like, hey man, the dude next to me, like an NFL locker room, as soon as the season ends, there may be 30 new guys in our locker room. And it's just, it is what it is. And I'm not going to hate him. I'm not going to say screw that kid because he was at Florida. Now I'm at Georgia talking about ETN. Hell, man, welcome in. If you can make our team better, this is the way of the future. This is the way of college football. This is our culture. Come on board. So I think kids are more receptive to the change just as much as coaches nowadays.
Yeah, I think that though maybe professional football players, because they're older, a bit more mature, a bit more used to that lifestyle, and maybe I'm not giving these young cats enough credit because they're older, more mature than we were in college because they're straight up like businesses unto themselves now, and they make hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they have to be more mature, and they're even larger spotlight than we were back in the day. So maybe, and my point that I was making is just bullshit anyway.
Man, I've talked to a bunch of the Georgia guys about the ETN thing. I was like, do you guys give him shit? Do you call him like names, like, hey, Gator Boy or whatever it is? Like, no, like he's pretty damn good. We knew he was good last year, and we're just happy he's on our team. Like, we welcome him. He can help us win a championship. And maybe they're just bullshitting me, but like every single one says the same shit. Like, we're happy he's here.
I would not. I don't know. I mean, I'd be cool with him. I'd be cool with him for sure. And it is definitely the players themselves. Like you said, it's like, hey man, just the name of the game nowadays. But if I allow myself a little room to be a cantankerous old man, I'm like, fuck that shit. Anybody ever left and went to Alabama, we never talked to him ever again. Literal friends completely cut off that never got spoken to again. There's a comment here that I wanted to get to. John Glasgow, as long as Lane has Pete Golding as the DC, they'll come up short on defense. Trust me, I know. I love the sign off there. I mean, look, Pete Golding, I can leave or take. I think he's probably paid a little too much money based on his results, but the defense did win him a couple games last year, and they should be even better this year, getting like Amon Miele and others. Or wait, Princely, Amon Miele. That's the edge rusher. Yes, that's right. I just love John Glasgow ending the point with, trust me, I know. I'm going to start using that. Now, you don't have to explain why you know or why they should trust you. It's a very Trump-like sort of technique there. Very effective. Trust me, Aaron. I know about this shit, okay? Trust me.
Their defense went from 25.5 points given up per game the previous season to 22.5 points given up per game.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't say, did I say bad or did I say maybe slightly overpaid? Because he makes
no. I'm not going against you. I'm just putting out facts here. So like realistically, the defense improved with him last year. Now you throw in more talent to the defense this year. They should even, hell, man, if you get that defense from 22.5 points per game, which that defense helped you win 11 football games, if they get to 20 points per game with that offense, then expectations should be the same, 10, 11 wins.
All right. So Ole Miss, we believe, should make the playoffs and actually think that they will. I would bet on them making it over not, but let's continue to see what comes out of spring ball and whatnot. Let's start.
Speaking of spring ball, your boy's going to be in Missouri for the spring game this weekend.
Oh, are they already to their spring game?
I know. Wow. Yeah, I'll be on the call.
What's going on? Have you talked to have you talked to Drinkwitz yet? What are they saying?
No, we have coaches meetings Friday morning. So yeah, gonna be fun. I was supposed to have the Missouri spring game last year, got canceled because of weather. So hopefully,
should Missouri make the playoff?
That's a good question. Who you hire on, Ole Miss or Missouri?
I mean, I'm higher on Ole Miss. I mean, I think losing Blake Baker and Kevin Peoples, which is the underrated part of that, is not great. And I just think Ole Miss is better to begin with. Then again, look, Mizzou's kind of represented a bit of Georgia kryptonite. I'm pretty sure Mizzou as well has a friendly schedule. Talking to Chase Daniel, he sounded very bullish on it. I would say this. I don't know if I'm going to take Mizzou to make the playoffs. I will take Mizzou over Tennessee. I think you crowning Tennessee over Mizzou is wrong.
We'll find out. I'm sipping the Tennessee Kool-Aid, though. I'm sipping the Kool-Aid. Nico.
You've been sipping I think Mizzou is the only team, or is it Tennessee? Is the only team with a combined record opponent where it's a losing record. I think it is Mizzou, maybe.
Maybe.
I'd have to look that up again. We've talked about it before. OG Gary says Tennessee I'm bullish on, and I think Nico wins the Heisman. Bruh, come on now. No. Don't give that the maybe so face.
Okay, OG Gary. Okay.
I think Nico Yamaliava is going to win the Heisman.
I think in that offense, there's always an opportunity with a talented dual threat quarterback like Nico and those receivers, offensive lines back. Yeah, I think there's a great chance for that kid to put up some crazy stats. That offense is built to put up crazy stats.
Yes, but I mean, saying Nico's going to win the Heisman is like just saying anybody's going to win the Heisman. I'm saying we haven't really seen that much out of it. We saw one game.
What's his odds? Like I wouldn't say no to someone saying I'll throw a little money on Nico just for fun with his odds to win the Heisman.
So Bo Kinney says Murray's going to blindly stroke Tennessee just like he did Texas last year. Well, he did stroke Texas last year, and it appears that Texas kind of agrees with him, or at least when it comes to Steve Sarkisian, because Steve Sarkisian's, we now know what his contract. We knew he got a contract extension post Nick Saban leaving Alabama. We'll get into all of that. But Jimmy Sexton, continuing to do Jimmy Sexton things, as we now know the buyouts for Steve Sarkisian in 2024, it's $54.5 million. In 25, it's $45.5 million. In 26, it's $36.5 million. And there is so on and so forth, right? Goes down about 10 million every year, or excuse me, about 9 million every year. What's hilarious about this to me is like, didn't we just see in that very state how quickly these things can go awry? I mean, you just had Jimbo Fisher have a season very akin to what Sark did in 2020 when he goes 9-1. He's on the edge of the playoff. It looks like everything's moving there. Shut the fuck up. It looks like everything. It looks like everything's moving the right direction. They give him these impossible buyouts, and 2 years later they want him fired. And we all clowned A&M, and we all made fun of the hilarious buyout they have to play. And Texas is like, oh, that's you fucking idiots. Actually, let's do it ourselves. I think, look, man, I was wrong on Sark. He's good. I think Texas set up for success. I still don't understand how the fuck you have a coach that just won 10 games for the first time in his career and has one conference championship, 2 bowl losses at Texas, lost to Washington, both in the Alamo and the playoff. And now he has a $54.5 million buyout. Jimmy Sexton continues to control all of college football.
No, he does. He does. You always harp on COVID year. That's why I brought it up. Like, the year, does it really count? I mean, Stark did it, got him to the playoffs, is recruited extremely well, and I guess Jimbo did too as well at A&M. So there are a lot of I will go to your point. There are a lot of parallels. Recruiting at a high level. You know, Texas has put together some incredible classes. Jimbo put together some incredible classes. Winning, maybe not for a long time, but winning.
He won 1 year and has the $54 million buyout.
It's just the name of the game, man. Especially at a big school, it sucks.
That's Jimmy Sexton.
Yeah, I know. It's the name of the game. He named
the NCAA. He giving Nick Saban retiring was truly giving Jimmy Sexton the last infinity stone.
Yeah.
He got Sark a pay raise over $10 million a year, now $54 million buyout. He got Mike Norvell bumped up to over $10 million a year. He got Kalen DeBoer a new deal at Alabama that gets him over $10 million a year. I was trying to look for a landing extension, but I think it actually came in the summer, so I can't say that was a result of Saban, but even Lanning got a big extension this last offseason. Like the Palpatine level of manipulation from Jimmy Sexton against all these athletic directors and school presidents boggles the mind. And it honestly is probably the most fascinating story in sports that we have that is not really fully explored to the extent it should be.
What's his percentage, you think?
I don't know. Is it capped like NFLPA?
I don't know.
3 to 6. That'd be high, wouldn't it?
No. Players get 3% for NFL.
Oh, I thought
contracts.
NFL contract for players was like 1.5
No,
or
it's
something
like
like that.
3.
Okay, never
3.
mind then. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. Bo, can you daddy?
Where would you put Sark? Where would you put Sark?
For
Just
what?
coaching ratings. Top 10. Is he top 10?
Yeah, he's in the top 10.
I mean, top 10 coach deserves to get paid like that.
Again, but this is a buyout, right? You can give him the $10 million without going up to 54 million bucks, right? Like, how does Jimmy Sexton convince these people? If I wanted to think about how he could have done it, I'm imagining that the same way it would have cost Alabama $20 million to buy out Dan Lanning, I imagine no other school will really be able to attract Sark out of there anyway without paying a very hefty price tag.
But once again, like this, Texas truly has to know that Sark ain't going anywhere. You don't leave Texas. This was not them saying, "Oh, we're afraid Sark's going to go somewhere else." Like Sark ain't going. Sark ain't going anywhere.
Okay, great. So why the fuck did you give him all
that
money?
Just because everyone else is doing it. Everyone else jumps off the bridge. I'm going to jump off the bridge.
No, it's not everyone else. It's just Jimmy Sexton doing it against Jimmy Sexton. It's
when I say everyone else, all the other big boys at the big universities are doing it. Yeah.
All right, look, but look, hey, grats to Sark. I am sure that I am sure there is no way that this blows up in Texas' face. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that Texas is going to move into the SEC and be a consistent 10-game winner, and that they are going to defy the decade and a half of evidence that we have that there is something culturally untough about Texas year in and year out. And I'm positive that building a Texas-based football team based purely on monetary compensation can in no way go wrong for them, especially when you have a coach that's won 10 games one time. This is a great, great, great deal here. All right. We got a couple more things to get to, but first, let's hear from our friends at DraftKings. The thrill and excitement of March Mania is here, and DraftKings Sportsbook, one of America's top-rated sportsbook apps, is giving new customers a shot to turn $5 into $150 instantly in bonus bets. All you got to do, place any college basketball bet. That's right. So if you like the Cinderella stories, put your money where your mouth is. You think a 16 can beat a 1 again, or you just want to go full chalk? It's all there on DraftKings. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code T-Bob, T-B-O-B. New customers bet $5 to get $150 instantly in bonus bets only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code T-Bob, T-B-O-B. The crown is yours. Oh, God.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Ooh, I told you, boys, I'm running on fumes here. Hey, I didn't. So batch party was super fun though, but I got to give a shout out. So I went to high school in Atlanta, right? So I got a bunch of Georgia boys, and my buddy Converse made me promise to tell you that he loves you, go Dogs, and that he beat me in Pirateer. He beat me one game though. It's not that big of a deal. He played it well though. He sailed well. For sure. So shout out Con, even though I beat that ass in bocce ball and it wasn't even particularly close. So you said you don't leave Texas. Chad says nobody would have expected Brian Kelly to leave for LSU. Nobody expected Lincoln Riley to leave. Lincoln Riley to leave for USC.
No. Maybe the Lincoln, Oklahoma to USC, maybe a little bit different. But I think BK leaving from Notre Dame to LSU makes complete sense. You can't win at Notre Dame. You can win at LSU. It's been proven. Makes 100% sense.
Well, I mean, I guess, but it never happened before. Nobody had ever left Notre Dame, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so, crazier things can happen.
But you can win at Texas. Like, where would you leave? Texas is that brand where you don't leave Texas.
We think you can win at Texas. So it's funny you say that because just objectively, Notre Dame has been a significantly better program for the past 15 years than has
Texas. You don't think that Alabama.
I'm just pointing out facts, bro.
I'm just saying if he didn't leave this year to go to Alabama, he ain't leaving Texas.
Yeah. Well. The only okay, if I don't think he's leaving Texas, so I don't want to like go too far down, but I'll play devil's advocate here. Okay. The difference would be he has all the positive momentum in the world right now. The more hard question would be in a couple of years, if they have a couple 9-3s, maybe an 8-4, the SEC hasn't transitioned well, and then like I don't know, some
but
job
the buyout's down by then. The buyout's what at that point?
Oh, what? And so let's say
3
this
years?
season, the next season, the next season after that?
3 years. What's the buyout?
All right, let's see.
In the 20s? In the 20s?
In 2026, it is $36.5 million. So there you go. That's nothing, dude. 36.5 mil. Come on,
is
dude.
nothing in today's game. That's easy money.
Easy, dude. Bama didn't even try because they knew he wasn't interested. Yeah, it would make no sense for Sark to go to Bama this year. He's got too much positive momentum. Everything going for him. Yeah. Black Raider Steel says, think about the hype of the SEC. How does a 2-8 Big 12 rooted Colorado Buffs team beat a UGA team with Matthew Stafford, AJ Green team? What the fuck are we talking about? What? Never mind. I don't know what we're talking about. I'm sorry. I missed the original setup here. Yeah, I don't know. I think we're going to call it. Oh, wait. Hold on real quick. Do you care about this 14-team playoff thing? So that's still being bandied about. The SEC and Big Ten. In the 14-team playoff, the SEC and Big Ten champion are supposed to get automatic first-round buys, regardless of where they rank, because they won the SEC and the Big Ten. And that's become a bit of a sticking point. Coach Sonny Dykes from TCU saying automatic first-round buys for the Big Ten and SEC is like the NFL saying the Cowboys get a first-round buy since they have more fan than the Bengals. How preposterous is that? Sonny is not wrong, but at the same time, this is where the Big Ten and the SEC can choose to play hardball if they want. Yep. Right. Yes. If they want to do the nuclear option of, okay, well then why do we even need you? Even though I don't want that to happen, that is still on the table. Yeah. No, the SEC and the Big Ten make the rules. Let's be serious. Like they are the two big boys. They're at the adult table. They're having the adult conversations. And if they want to say that, no, sorry, Sonny, that we're going to have buys that are designated for the Big Ten, the SEC, I think it's going to be hard to kind of push. This would have to be those two conferences saying, okay, fine, whatever. We'll play ball. But if they don't want to, it's kind of hard for me to feel like they ain't making the rules. I mean, again, we talked out the 14-team playoff thing, and I think one of my big takeaways was I'm actually not nearly as opposed to it as I initially thought. But I do think you'd have to get rid of conference championship games. I like 12. I want to see how 12 goes. And I wish that they would maybe lock in 12 for a few more years, and then we could go to 14 if we decide that 12 isn't enough or whatever. All right. That'll do it for today's show. Quick programming note. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to miss tomorrow's show. Got some work responsibilities on the home front, which means golfing with clients at a tournament that I have to. So I'm looking forward to the golfing part of it, but I will not be here tomorrow. Aaron will be here. And then we got another Snaps Live coming up Thursday. If you want to send out your emails for Snaps mailbag, snapscfb@gmail.com. That's snapscfb@gmail.com. Also, you can follow us on Instagram, TikTok at Volume Snaps. YouTube.com/Volume Snaps is the YouTube channel. Again, trying to get to 15K, very close. Please hit the sub button. Tell your friends about it if you like. Jav Solo team. Guys, I'm gonna get the fuckboy fade. Okay, you just gotta wait till after the wedding. You think I'm going to all these bachelor parties for fun? Okay. It's yeah, I guess yes. Actually, yeah, it was fucking awesome. It was super fun. I am going to do it. It is coming. Don't worry. Wedding's in April. After that, we're gonna have it. And y'all are gonna have me looking like fresh. Looking like I'm from fucking Tampa all summer. Which admittedly, seasonally, that is the appropriate time to look like you're from Tampa. Yes. Is during the summer. It's much better in the winter. So I'm not too upset about that, actually. All right. Huge thank you to Pat Gunther, Chris Tran, our guy Danny Cardenas, everybody else at the Volume for helping make the show happen. A huge thank you to Aaron Murray. Missed you last week, brother. Love to have you back. Sorry, I'm going to miss you tomorrow. And we will see you next time on another episode of Snaps Live.